Thank you.
What is going on, guys? Two-Wheel Pursuit back again on this beautiful day in the Ocean Estate. It is like 80 degrees out right now. I know I'm gonna get so many comments. I'm just full on squidding it up right now. Shorts and a tank top. I do have my my armored vest and helmet on though, so I'm not completely squid. Like 85% squid, 15% human. It's such a nice day out. I thought I would make a video talking about sort of whether or not you should buy a new sport bike or a used sport bike. Or I guess this could really apply to any motorcycle in general, but in my personal experience, I only have experience with sport bikes, more or less at least. So I was going to talk about that because for a long time I was looking around at getting a 600 or 1000cc sport bike to upgrade from my old Honda CBR600, which was 2017. I bought brand new. Lost so much money buying that bike brand new, but I mean, that's what's gonna happen when you buy a bike brand new. So anyway, I had been looking around for a long time, like about a year or so, before I ended up buying this GSXR600, which is a 2006 with like, I don't know, probably 29,000 miles on it. It has a lot of miles. So no one understands how to use roundabouts these days. I figured I'd make a quick video sort of talking about my experience and looking into buying a used sport bike versus looking at buying a new sport bike. Some of the differences. In my experience now, I would say I'd probably, I mean, I would definitely buy used again. And I got a really good deal on this bike. I got almost like an even trade-in for my CBR600, which was like around $4,000. But here's the thing that you have to keep in mind, right? This bike has 29,000 miles on it when I purchased it. And so yeah, you get an even trade-in. That's great, right? Now you're walking away. I mean, it seems like it's common sense, right? You bring your 500 in, and you walk out with a 600. And to be honest, this 600 has like, I mean, if you guys have seen my other videos, I've test ridden. Well, I didn't make a video of it, but I test rode a CBR600 RR. That was a 2000. I want to say 2012. And I test rode a 2016 or 2018 Yamaha R6. So both of those were newer bikes, and both of them had like really low miles, and both of them were pretty expensive too. I mean, the CBR was reasonably priced, but the R6, I mean, it was like an almost brand new R6 with 1,000 miles on it, I think. Pretty much brand new. And they were asking more money than I'd be willing to pay for that bike, especially it having some miles on it. But here's the thing, I will say, so I got to test ride, I've test rode every 600 except for the Kawasaki, the 636. And here's what I'll say. Comparing newer 600s, which I first rode the newer 600s, and then I rode an older 600, the one I have now, the GSXR600 from 2006. I can honestly say, like, even though this bike is way older, has way more miles, it doesn't feel all that different from the brand new 600s that I was riding. I mean, I'm sure if you hit up a track or whatever, and you know, you're trying to get the absolute most performance out of the bike that you can get, then yeah, you're gonna feel it a little bit. But I mean, the technology, I think, from even the older bikes, it seems to me like when they started getting like really good was around 2006. I know that like at least for the Gixxer, around like before 2006, like the 2005s, I believe they were fuel injected, but they were having problems still with some of the fuel injection and a few issues like with the engines, and basically reliability issues is what I'm talking about. So anything past 2006, at least for Suzuki, for the Gixxer lineup, was pretty solid. I mean, this bike has 29,000 miles on it, and whoever had it before me did all sorts of mods to it. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, it still runs perfectly fine. I know I do have an FI light, or F1 light up there, whatever. And I know the problem with that is something very minor. I'm going to be taking care of it soon. But really, like, the reality is that any of the bikes, as far as reliability wise, from 2006 on up, they're really good. Like, I don't think there's that much of a difference, at least with the Japanese bikes from back then till now, as far as reliability goes, from what I've felt, and as far as the power. So the way that I look at it kind of now is, you have to think, well, I could either get a 2006 GSXR for $4,000, or I could get a brand new, or you know, relatively new R6 for whatever, 9,000, 10,000, and you know, that's out the door. That's what you're going to be paying out the door. You still have taxes on top of that, and the more the bike costs, the more taxes are going to be. And if you get, you know, whatever else added onto that, shipping, freight fees, all that good shit, starts to add up. So, and I literally got out the door for under 4,000 with this bike. And honestly, I'm way happier that I did that instead of spending all the money to get a brand new bike. I know it seems like a new bike has more features, yeah, like, and I will say for the 1000cc bikes, I mean, there's definitely bikes that are way more technologically advanced than stuff that we had back in 2006, like the Kawasaki Ninja H2. We would not have had anything like that back in you know, 2006, back when this bike was from. But that being said, like, base model bikes, especially the 600s, technology has not really advanced far enough for me to want to buy a brand new 600cc sport bike. For a 1000, I can see how you would say that, yeah, because they're getting all advanced with that stuff, with, you know, all kinds of electronic rider aids and whatnot. But dude, for the value you get in this bike, you can't really get that, like, at a better price. I mean, $4,000 for this compared to $9,000 or $10,000 for a brand new one. You know, how much of a difference is it when you get a brand new bike? Is it really worth that almost $7,000 difference, depending which bike you go with? I don't think it is, unless you're someone who really wants a new bike. I mean, here's another thing. You're gonna get a used bike, yeah, there's probably gonna be some things that need to be fixed. Like, I have that F1 light going on there. Personally, I don't mind working on my bikes. That's something you need to consider, is working on your bike. I mean, you're gonna spend some extra money. Yeah, I'm gonna be spending like $200 to repair this bike in the first year of owning it. But it's still not $7,000 for a new one. And who's to say if you got a new bike, you still wouldn't need to do some repairs on it, because shit happens, man. Also, I'm gonna say this right now, if you're a younger male specifically, and you're looking at getting a sport bike, dude, get an older sport bike like this. Insurance is so fucking expensive because we do stupid shit like that. And if you get a new bike, like, oh, you're gonna be charged so much money for insurance, like almost $400 a month. And I'm talking about like bare minimum insurance too. For this bike though, it's actually less than my CBR 500 was, which was really surprising to me. But just because it's such an old bike, the insurance was not all that much on it. So that's another thing to consider if you're a younger dude buying a sport bike. Insurance is going to cost a lot. If you get a used one, older one, everything's going to be cheaper about it, except you might have to repair it more. I guess that's pretty much the bottom line. I'd have to say, if you're buying a sport bike, if you're in the market for it, you have two options. Like, you can either buy a newer bike that has some technology, some more technology, but it's really probably going to be just as reliable as even, you know, an older bike with, I mean, this one has 29,000 miles, like I said, and it still runs fine. I ride it almost every day, and I've had minimal problems with it. I mean, a bike is a bike, and it's going to run how it's supposed to. At least it should. And really, they're so reliable now with the fuel injection. They're just so well built. Oh, okay, we're not. They're just so well built that really there's no reason to buy a newer bike unless you really want that technology, unless you really want traction control, wheelie control, different power modes, which I don't even understand why you would need power modes on a 600, man. Like, I rode that R6, and honestly, like the brand new R6, but the model before they gave it the modes, I don't understand why you would need modes on an R6. Like, it just doesn't feel like you, like, I feel like I'd be in the highest power mode all the time, because anything lower than that is going to feel like my CBR 500. So I guess maybe if you're buying your first bike and, like, you want to have a SuperSport, but that you can tone down to, like, a 500cc, then I guess that makes sense. But for me personally, I would not. I think that's kind of pointless to be putting modes on a 600. Even traction control seems kind of weird. Like, I mean, that was not even, that was like quarter throttle. And you guys see how fast this bike accelerates. You see the performance, and you're really not going to get anything different from a newer bike. Keep in mind, that's not even, this bike is not running, don't kill me, please, thank you. This bike is not even running, like, Jesus. This bike is not even running to its full potential right now because there is an issue with the engine, like I was talking about, so it's kind of, the power is tuned down a little bit. It's not running as efficiently as it could, and it still puts out tons and tons of power. Ow, what the fuck was that? God damn, fucking big ass bug or some shit just flew into me. What the fuck was that? Oh shit. Oh, what the fuck was that? That scared the shit out of me. Oh, I'm gonna have to look back in the footage and see what that was. Anyway, guys, to sum up this video, I mean, obviously if you're watching this, you're probably wondering if you should get a brand new 600 or a used 600. It's really up to you, but personally, I would say go with used, because like you cannot beat the value. Like $4,000 for this bike is crazy. Like, you're not going to get a better deal literally with anything. Like, where can you buy something for $4,000 and then go fucking ride like at 160 miles an hour? Not that you should do that. I do not endorse that or encourage that kind of action, but you could. And I think that says a lot. Up for you guys. Buying used is just really good value. You can get a lot. So much value in getting a cheap 600cc bike. But it's just crazy that it's even possible to do that. Now, I would not buy a new one personally, but it's up to you. It just depends what you want in the bike. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. Also, comment down below. If you watched to this point in the video, comment down below that you are one of the 1% of people who watched till the very end of the video, because according to my YouTube analytics, like 99% of people should have dropped off the video by now. So if you're one of the 1% who watched till now, thank you very much, because, like, dude, there are not many people who watch it this far. I mean, this is the 1% squad right here. 1% watching the very end of the video. I appreciate it, man. It means a lot. You guys are the reason that I keep making videos, so I appreciate that. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, or not. You know, it's up to you. This is America. You have the freedom to subscribe to whoever you want, or not subscribe to whoever you want. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you guys ride safe.